Sometimes I make videos as a resource for you guys. Sometimes I make videos to explain something you don't understand. And sometimes I just want to talk to you all. This is a confluence of all three, because today I want to talk to you all about the high-minded and direly important philosophy of reviewing toys on the internet. Okay, maybe I oversold that. But I do want to talk to you all about the way that I do things and why I do them the way that I do. Just because I really want to share with my fans. I suppose today's video is the PerspectiveEnd primer. But first, your likes. Please give. And if you enjoy this video by the end and you aren't subscribed already, please consider it. Okay, so just to start off, I want to answer a question that a great many of you have had these last 3 years. What's up with the fast talking, dude? The answer is very simple. Hilariously, it has nothing to do with Blur and the Transformers because I'd actually settled on talking at this rate long before I ever became a Transformers YouTuber. And when I did become a Transformers YouTuber, I just didn't ever connect the wires in my head that I'd be compared to Blur until people started pointing it out. But the reason that I talk like this is that I respect my own time greatly, and I watch every YouTube video at 1.5 to 2 times speed. Why? Because the faster I watch it, the sooner it's over. The sooner it's over, the sooner I can move on to another video and experience more new information, learning new things in less time, essentially packing more life into life. It's also the same reason why all my videos are scripted. There is little on this earth that irritates me more than a YouTuber who just turns their camera on and has no idea what they're going to say, so they just hem and haw for 40 straight minutes, telling me all the information I could have learned in 10 if they just bothered to cut down the fucking video. Like, why should I watch anything informational at anything other than the maximum rate I can retain it at? So if I respect my own time that way, then I want to respect all of yours as well. It also helps a lot of people actually watch my show, because while some individuals will always say that you can just pause a video, most people don't want to stop in the middle of something and have to come back to it hours later. So if someone on break sees a video that's 25 minutes long, they don't have time for that. But if they see something that's 10 minutes long, then they have time for that right now, which means that I get the opportunity to entertain them while they're looking for something to do. If you want more time with my content, I have 400 other videos. Why should I make anything longer than it absolutely needs to be? The funny thing is that if you actually watch my first couple of videos that I ever made, I wasn't doing the whole fast talking thing because I was worried that people wouldn't like it and I got cold feet. But then I decided, fuck it. I'm making this show the way that I think is best, not the way that I think it will be liked. Also, I was really bad at reading a script at the time. Now, the second related question to that I get asked is how the hell do I talk so fast? And while I'm absolutely a real motor mouth in real life when I get on a roll, like seriously, I can go really, really fast to the point where I'm constantly asked to slow down by the people around me. The problem with this is that while trying to do that while reading a script leads to, seriously, I can go really, really fast to the point where I'm constantly asked to slow down by the people around me. The problem with this is that trying to do that while reading a script, while trying to do that while reading a script leads to, well, that. My mouth running faster than I can read and causing an absolute train wreck of recording that I can barely finish in like 20 takes. That will necessitate hours longer in the editing if I continue for the whole video. So what I do for the video is read my lines at a controlled rate where my eyes can keep up with my mouth and then speed all of that up in post. I'm sorry if that dispelled the magic for some of you guys. Like I just showed, I can really talk that fast. It's just that doing so while making a video is like punching myself in the balls to prove that I'm tough. Then there's the stuff that people put onto me that I kind of want to dispel. I can't tell you the number of times that people have told me that I say all the time that I believe that my opinions are facts. I don't know where this made-up idea of me comes from, but let me just set the record straight. I do not believe that my opinions are facts and that I'm objectively right in my opinions, because opinions cannot be right or wrong. An opinion is your subjective response to something. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did it mean something to you? That's your opinion. However, there is also a separate thing called an assessment, and your assessment is you attempting to judge how well something achieved what it was trying to achieve, and that is something that you can be wrong about. And my main focus with reviewing stuff is to assess it, which means that I am not saying that my review is a fact. No, I am admitting that my review can be wrong. Because I'm not stating an opinion, I'm stating an assessment. Now, your opinion can creep in and taint one's assessment, and that does happen to me. But when that happens, it just makes my assessment more prone to being wrong. Opinion is how you feel. An assessment is an attempt at analyzing the objective factors of something to try and determine its quality. And you can fail that in so many ways, it's ridiculous. Like, you can misjudge the thing that it's aiming for, and assess it badly because it's not trying to be the thing that you think it's trying to be. You can miss key aspects of it. For me, I've missed joints and features many times before and lowered my final grade based on that. You can let your own opinion influence how much you value some aspect in the ratings. So I am not infallible for trying to assess things. If anything, I'm far more fallible for it. At the same time, any reviewer of anything who tells you that their reviews are just opinions and can't be wrong because art is subjective is full of shit. Because then, quite frankly, why the fuck are you wasting my time? If you truly believe that objective quality does not exist, then why do you review? Why do you tell anyone whether or not something is good? If it's literally only subjective, then there's no such thing as good or bad, just what you like or don't, and you can't ever disagree with someone who didn't like something or did because they can't be wrong and neither can you. Subjective criticism is only useful to people who are exactly like you. So why would you bother trying to articulate the ways that it's good or bad when you don't believe good or bad are a thing? But we all know that the room is objectively a giant piece of unregulated shit, and it may be enjoyable for it sucking so hard, but you will not argue that it's good, just that you enjoy it, right? Or are you sincerely going to try and argue with me that the room is a good movie because art is subjective? How you feel about something does not have to have anything to do with its quality. I've said it a million times before, and I'll say it again. You can hate a good thing and love a bad thing. And isn't that freeing? You don't have to like good things. You don't have to hate bad things. And you don't need to pretend that they aren't good or bad, so that way it's okay for you to like them. Because it's always okay. But if you're trying to tell someone whether or not they'll like something, you need to assess it, because they aren't you. And to convey to them the qualities of that thing, you need to grade it on a rubric, in order to have any hope of giving them some measure of whether or not they will like it themselves. And that is something that you can do incorrectly. But that does not mean that objective quality does not exist. It just means that you were wrong, like I have been before. Deal with it. We are not infallible. We do not get to run around telling people what is worth spending their money on and then hide behind the shield of, it's just my opinion, bro, when someone else feels like their money was wasted. Because it wasn't an opinion, it was an assessment. And if you review something, it's never an opinion unless you end it after 3 words. I like it, I hate it. And that brings me to another point. Why am I so negative? Well, if you watched my recent video, you'd know that I'm actually not, but my videos always do contain as many negative aspects in what I'm reviewing that I can find. Even when my overall takeaway is that what I'm reviewing is excellent. And there are 2 reasons for that. 1, this is a very big, very positive community, and I don't expect my video to be the only one that someone watches to determine whether or not they want a figure. So considering that I should expect any other videos that you watch will be overwhelmingly positive, if I want to tell you any new information that you don't know yet so you can make the most informed purchase possible, then what you've not heard yet are the bad points. And if you hear all the bad and you still think it's outweighed by the good, then you can be far more confident that you will be happy with it. Secondly, I am a critic, not a salesman. I am not a member of Hasbro's marketing team. I am not here to try to convince you to buy everything that Hasbro puts out and make them money. I am here to argue whether or not they earned your money this time. If that means that I've got to be the negative voice in a room who's a bit of a wet blanket, I'd rather be that than the person who convinced you to waste your money on something you didn't like. Now let's just get into the stuff that I think would be really fun to talk about. Something that might be interesting for you to learn is that in my videos, I talk at roughly 250 words per minute when all said and done. It's very consistent. So if you see, say, a 10-minute video from me, well then you can be pretty sure that the script was around 2,500 words. It's actually probably somewhere between 2,600 and 2,007, but 250 words per minute makes the math really easy, so I rounded down to that. So if you ever wondered how many essays I write weekly, if it's high school essays, it's between 5 and 17. And college ones are apparently smaller, so I'm guessing that this isn't taking final papers into account, but that'd be between 8 and 13. But yeah, now you have the tools to figure out how long each of my scripts are and whether or not I got lazy with this one because it's only like 1,700 words or something like that. By my estimation, the normal length of my videos is between 2,100 and 2,004, though outliers will often stretch to like 3,003. Something else that you might find interesting is the format that I settled on. It starts with about a minute of preamble, though sometimes it is longer or shorter. Then I give my general thoughts on the robot mode, the way it looks, and its quality. Anywhere from the 900 to 1,300 word mark, I'll do a segment focused exclusively on the head, then I'll talk about the accessories, then posability, then I discuss the enjoyability of the transformation, then the alt mode. And lastly, there's the overall thoughts section where I sum up the entire review. And before I ever started YouTube, the only things that I actually knew were going to be part of my format no matter what were 1, the preamble at the start of my videos, just because I always wanted to have a section where I talk to my viewers about stuff that's important to me at the start regardless of the video that comes after. The transformation section, just because I like to figure out how to transform a figure myself and I don't want to spoil that for anyone. Plus, I think it's one of the 3 most important aspects to a Transformers figure, so I think explaining how good it is, just like you do with the way the figure looks, is far more important than just showing you how to do it. And lastly, the head section, entirely because I bought the worst third-party Grimlock, the Fans Toys one, because for whatever reason, the pictures online were all low quality, and the head was dark enough to trick my monitor into basically making it look like a void in space and time, so I couldn't tell what it looked like, and not a single reviewer ever talked about the head in depth or showed it in any detail. As a result, I wound up buying it and coming to realize that I despise that head because of how ugly it is. So I vowed that I'd make sure in my videos people would always get a really good look at one of the absolutely most important aspects of the character's design, because you can look past a flawed body, but the head is paramount. And back to what I alluded to just a few moments ago, I think that Transformers have 3 vital qualities. How does the robot mode look? How does the vehicle mode look? And what's the transformation like? Posing is nice and can really add to a figure's value, but if it looks great in robot mode and vehicle mode and the transformation is also great, that's like 95% of the figure's value to me right there. And transformation is probably the biggest factor to me. If you've ever wondered why I gave what was for the most part a figure that looked okay, posed acceptably, and had an okay alt mode a good rating, it was probably because the transformation was just that good. I try to avoid doing that since I do want to be objective, but that will creep in, though I do try to be upfront about it when that happens. Hasn't saved some pieces of trash though. Another quirk of my review style is that I often don't talk about a lot of joints that a figure has. My philosophy, again, is that you don't need your time wasted. So why would I tell you about, say, a waist joint, when you should already expect it to have one, and you should expect it to spin a full 360? So I only bring stuff like that up when they are abnormally limited or non-existent. For the most part, I just concern myself with the joints that are not guaranteed or that will have different ranges between figure to figure. There's also like one more thing that I wanted to talk to you all about, but I can't remember it right now, so I'll just put that in the preamble of a later video if it ever manages to wander back into my head. That's what those are for, after all. But I wanted to thank you guys. You've made these 3 years so amazingly fulfilling, and I couldn't be more humbled. I bothered sharing this information with you all because I want you to know how I think better, since I care about all of you. And I'm just realizing this now, but this may come across a little, oh no, something's wrong with perspective. No, nothing's wrong. I'm just happy. And that's not half what I have to say, but it's enough what I have to say. And I know, you know, what everyone else tells you to do at the end of these videos. So, if you liked what you saw here, please do that. And if you'd like to take it a step further, then please share this video with any friend you think may be interested. I hope you all enjoyed listening to me waste your time.